toroidal field, and this is what we mean by the reincarnation trap, where souls, when they get out of their bodies, they don't go back to source. They recycle in the realm and go back to this realm and be born again. This is why they call it a reincarnation trap. That's karma, that's moksha. Whatever that field that catches the souls before they go back to source and traps them again in another life and wipes their memory. That's the system. And it's a form of an apple. Why is Adam and Eve's story such a symbolic story of creation? And you had a choice. You either eat the apple or you don't. But if you eat the apple, you're going to enter this realm, this cycle. What is the cycle? It's the snake that eats its own tail. It's a self-contained energy system that feeds on itself. Because nothing leaves it, you know?
It's insane. Yeah. It's recycling.
It's recycling its own energy. Exactly. That's why the Ouroboros is one of the alchemical symbols of the whatever this alchemy process that this universe does.
Wow. Okay.
Right? So this shape, do you remember this optical field? It spins around. That's the torus. That's a toroidal field. It spins around, it goes up and it comes back down again. Goes up and it keeps spinning. That's why everything is spinning. But it's like we're almost sucked into this whirlpool. Because, okay, so this toroidal field, this is the realm that's created to create form. This is how you crystallize energy into form.
Right.
You make it self-contained and it's formed. So this is why it's a very materialistic realm. Because it's all about creating stable form. And for stable form, it has to consume and keep consuming and feed on itself. Right? This is why we don't have free energy on this realm. Is this a coincidence? No. Why do we have to pay money to just exist on this realm? Because energy translates into money. It's how they keep you trapped. That's the reincarnation trap.
Wow.
So you get in debt. That's the karmic debt. And if you're in debt, you're going to come back. So this is why they say, don't make new karma, right? Because then they have nothing, the wardens, they have nothing to demoralize you with. Because when you're in spirit form, you're at the pure form of innocence. And with every suggestion of love, it's like, oh no, stay, but your family needs you or whatever. You get back into the trap again. 3 years ago here on Maui and the beach, I saw this field around the earth. Spirals, concentric circles. What we call the magnetic field, and I feel this is the toroidal field that's holding this realm together and holding the souls together. While you live, you're generating the battery with your work and with debt. It's all about the harvest. The moment you die, this is when they trap the energy and they bring it back. And that's how they keep this realm alive. And I don't necessarily want to say this is an evil realm, because it's a materialistic realm. It's obsessed with creating form, stable forms. But it's also stuck in that form, you know? And that's why sometimes we feel stuck in loops, right? We're working all the time. We can't just being. So this is someone who created this genius system of souls, because souls were just being. They could shape shift and be anything they want, right? But this is the invention of 3D form.
The manufacturing.
The manufacturing. And that's what they call the Akashic field, because it's the records of everything that has taken place in this realm. That's why when I access it, I can access the past, the present, the future, because it's kind of like an AI machine. It's predictive.
Yeah, it's the Taurus.
it can see like how the energy, you know, it's within that, it's contained. It's not infinite. It's contained.
Right.
It's all magnetism. These are the rules of this world. It has to be bound together. Positive and negative. That's how you bond things. But it's a bond, which means it's imprisonment to create form. There is bondage in it. Electromagnetic bonds. The same way it's around magnets and coils to generate electricity, to generate energy. It's finite energy to create form. It's a battery. No, it's a reactor. Some kind of new reactor to translate soul essence, spirit, into form. So there is an entrapment factor in it, but we can't say it's all evil. And we can't say it's all good because it's an entrapment. It's not a free system. It's contained within itself, which means it's running on finite energy. If it doesn't do this, right, just like how we generate electricity, if we don't do this, the friction, the struggle, the wars, the conflict, if we don't do the friction, there isn't going to be energy. It's going to die. It's going to die. Just like a battery dies and you need to recharge it. So everything we do is the recharge. So yeah, I feel the moon is definitely an equation in that toroidal field. Could be the exit. Oh my gosh, it's the exit point. It's the entrance and the exit point. How it communicates with the rest of the universe. Let's say there are spirits in other dimensions, and they want to manifest. They have to go through
that portal.
The moon. And if you want to leave, this is the entry. Because a lot of the people I've heard their NDE's experiences, some of them, when they're having conversations with the guardian angels. They're called guardian angels. Why? Because they're protecting this realm. They're guarding this realm, so they're making sure nobody leaves. But if you're aware of your rights, you have free will, you can invoke that. But they mostly emotionally manipulate people who are trapped in karma. A lot of these people's stories, they say, I was standing on a place where you can see the earth from a distance. It's not so far away. You can still see it. And I was having this conversation with this angel, and they were negotiating whether you're going back or you're leaving. Things like that. I've heard stories like this. Many, many, many people who don't even know each other. It's the same scenario. And someone said it has to be on the moon. There is no other place where you can just stand on a distance and look at the earth and see the earth from a distance. And have that conversation. It has to be the moon. So I feel like the moon is the portal. This is our body. We also have a Taurus field around us. That's why we have to eat. Feed our bodies for that heart to generate magnetism. It's the heart. It's the heart. There's always interceptions whenever, we speak of matters like this. Okay. Well,
stop.
Yeah. Alright, so this is a self-contained system. So you have the choice whether you want to eat the apple or not. Don't ever think that you don't have the choice. This reincarnation trap. It's a trap because there's trickery involved. Because it's a great sacrifice. It's a very expensive system. It's a system of depth and self-generating battery that needs polar opposites. It needs friction. It needs drama, antagonism, and war. Snake that eats its own tail. There is a guardian angel, and they're called guardian angels because they are protecting this realm. because it's a system that feeds on itself. So it's important to keep the system running, and it's important that you feel compelled to stay. Now, if you incur debt, which is karmic attachments, karmic contracts, people you've wronged, people that have wronged you, it almost limits your chances. It limits your chances of escaping the matrix. But that's only in your consciousness, because it's a consciousness of debt and entrapment. And it becomes just a habit. And it's a factory, it's a very streamlined factory that is operated by very intelligent guardians, and they seem to broadcast the same programs of lack, of scarcity, of I'm not good enough, so that you keep trying again. If you felt good enough, then you got nothing to prove, and you're no longer generating conflict within yourself, you're no longer generating competition, you're no longer doing anything, you're not serving the realm. So there is suffering here, there is toil, and there is hard labor, because this is a very expensive machine. So you got to be willing to pay the price to generate more sustenance for the realm. This is a highly organized realm of 3D form, of material form. There are other realms of spirit where time doesn't matter. Does not matter. Time literally does not matter. It does not turn into form. But here, things to grow into form, they take time. What is time? Is it the day and the night? It's the spinning. It's the toroidal field. It's the wormhole spinning onto itself to generate the momentum, to generate the electricity from a positive and a negative polarity, to generate energy in this realm. You're here for a reason, whether you're here by choice, whether you are aware of it or not, but you were interested. And maybe on some level it was time for you to start creating. So the thing about creating your own reality is not fiction. It's about what you are putting into form in terms of vibration, in terms of words, in terms of sound, frequencies, in terms of light, in terms of manipulating shape, manipulating your own body. You're here to create spirit into matter. That's the pentagram. You know, it's exciting to have things become real, or you can touch and feel them, and understand that when you do get tired, you have the right to leave. And you have the right to go back to being a free spirit who's eternal, who can become and be in the oneness. Dimension within dimension. This never-ending, coiling, spiraling creation wormhole onto itself. Onto itself. There is a component of this that is a holographic projection by the magnetic field that you give when you expend energy with your positive and negative charges. Anyway, this is a long topic. I just wanted to say that you have a choice to be here. I mean, be intentional. Be intentional about what you want to create in this reality. Because you don't want to be stuck here if you don't know what you're creating, if you don't know what you're doing with your life.